All right. Welcome to another evening of ChopShop's recruitment race here at ChopShop Racing. We are here at Michigan. We are going to have a blast tonight. I am super excited. I'm your host, or your primary broadcaster, Ryan. You're with the Eagle. We are going to do, I believe, 25 laps if I remember correctly, and we're going to see how everything shows up. The race info for today is going to be at Michigan. It's 2 miles. The temperature outside is 98 degrees. The altitude is 1,018 feet. The 98 degrees is the track temperature. The actual weather outside is going to be 78 degrees, 45% humidity, cloudy with 3 miles an hour wind. And that's that for that. Make sure if you guys are interested in joining our league, you can look in the description below and you could see our link for our Facebook. You could see our link for our YouTube channel and also a link for our Discord. Right now we're out here. It looks like Burke so far has the fastest time with a 38.39. For some reason on the ticker it's doing one off, but no big deal. Right now we have out in the field Mr. Jerry Culver. He's laying down his lap. We're going to see where he lines up at the start-finish line, and it looks like he's going to be sitting back in 16th place. Wasn't the best lap. Wow. Man, all these guys qualify, and they just, this track gets awfully slippery if you're just pegging it, but sometimes that's what you have to do in order to lay down that hot lap. So far, we have a lot of people in the room. I don't know how many's actually going to show up. It looks like we got a field of 36 people, which is insane for a Friday evening, but it's going to be super awesome. Let's look at the starting grid. We're going to have Jeremiah Burke starting first, Maurice Berry in second, Sean Pena at third, Larry Yon in fourth, Cody Hemingway in fifth, Thomas Schreienholster in sixth, Dustin Eaton in seventh, Mike Aiello Jr. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, brother, but he's starting eighth. Ninth, Brian Beach. 10th, Dave Steinson. 11th, Andrew Player. 12th, Tyler Payne. We got John Hammond in 13th, Mike Adamson in 14th, Laquan McCoy in 15th, Albert Anderson the 3rd and 16th, Jerry Culver 17th, Carter Casey in 19th, Rick Spencer Walt in 19th, Connor James in 20th, Nathan Biggert in 21st, 22nd would be Michael Strickland, 23rd is Chris Tripp, 24th is Mark Retchen. Rounding out the field is going to be Mike Martin in 25th, Craig Goodenough in 26th, Aaron LaFrance, it's LaFrance, 27th, Earl Evans in 28th, Justin Dews in 29th, Eric Meitzner, is it Meitzner? I'm butchering these guys' names, guys. I apologize. In 30th, Jeff Charles in 31st, Laquan McCoy in 32nd, Brad Lane in 33rd, Michael Prairie in 34th, and Ethan Wiggins in 35th. All right. They're going to be getting ready to get this show on the road. I know a lot of these guys are itching at the bit to let them eat, and I'm also itching at the bit to watch it. Jeremiah Burke pulling off here. They're getting lined up. Let's see how he feels, Mr. Burke. And I cannot find him anywhere, so that does not matter at the moment. He must have got off Discord. That's okay. It's okay.
You got me in here, buddy.
Oh, Mr. Strickland's in here. How's it going, sir?
What's going on right now? I'm going to help you out a little bit tonight.
You're going to help me out? You're starting back at 34th. What are you going to do to get up to the front?
I ain't going to be racing. I'm going here. I'm looking at the overhead cam, and we're checking out all these recruited drivers. We're just going to go ahead and take a look at them through the blimp cam, make sure everybody's playing nice, and we have a nice, clean race.
Hey, buddy, are you RCing while you're up here?
Sure.
Perfect. We're going to head down the backstretch here. We're going to get them lined up and ready to go. That field is huge. I mean, it's incredible how big this field is for a Friday
Definitely
night.
A good turnout. Definitely a good turnout for one of these recruiting races. Generally, on a Friday, Saturday night, you're going to get a bunch of guys in here. I mean, it's a big track. Cup racing. Everybody's excited. You got that Netflix video out. Everybody's probably checking it out. Everybody's wanting to come out here and race.
Brother, it was a good series. I've watched it all already. We have the Geico restart zone on, you all right?
Green flag.
I believe so.
There goes Burke. Neither line really got started there. It looked like they were a little hesitant to kind of rock on the gas as we head into turn one.
Already 3 wide into turn 1, as you can see.
Woo! You gotta love these wide tracks, just so you can really run any line you want.
They should be able to run multiple grooves throughout the entire race. Generally, the tires here are going to last anywhere from 10 to about 15 laps of basically full bore run before you start seeing any fall off. So you should start seeing some of these guys stick to the front, trying to get out in front as quick as they can just to get that clean air, because that's obviously going to be super important.
Yeah, it looks like 26 and Maurice Berry. He got a little high there and came scrape the wall a smidge. No harm, no foul. It looks like he was just trying to get a run on the top side there to try to get around Jeremiah Burke, but it didn't really pan out. We got battle for third back here between the 11 and the 5. It looks like the 5's going to overcome and take that. Or 29.
It's going to take them a couple of laps to get lined out. Looks like the front half of the actual pack has started to figure out that they should start playing a little follow the leader. You'll get the occasional guys that'll drop down to the bottom, but you're already starting to see them use multiple grooves.
Oh yeah, and as we sit in the car of Barry here, you could just see he just has Burke in his sights, and I bet you almost anything. You know, when you're sitting in second place, you guys almost kind of get tunnel vision, don't you?
Yeah, because if you're up front, you're running hard. You obviously trying to get past the guy that's out in front of you, so you're going to end up pushing hard. It's really all about patience, tire management, and keeping the car clean for the most part. But these guys up front, they seem pretty good. They're all doing pretty good at this point. A little bumping and banging, nothing too major. A couple cars scraped the wall, but for the most part, everything's been clean so far. Mainly the bottom and the top line seems to be the two lanes that they're utilizing now. Nobody's really running the middle as of yet, but we'll start to see that build up here in a second.
You know, and it looks like to me like there's 6 cars back there, and there's a little gap from the lead pack. I'm assuming they're probably back there just saving tire. You know, surprisingly. Oh, 4 wide, 3 wide. We got a wreck on the front stretch. Man, that was wild.
It was just a matter of time before they got collected. They're all running super close to each other. It was just a matter of time before it happened. It doesn't look like it was anything other than some incidental contact that initially started it.
We're going to have to go back and watch that. Yeah, look at that. That's just wild. I mean, let's rewind her here a little bit. We are going to switch. Nope. Yeah, it looks like the 20 and 16 got collected.
He's not 100% sure if the iRacing flags are on. I didn't throw that caution, so they must be on unless he did it. So we'll definitely go take a look at that.
You know,
but as of
Striker, the question is now, we're 6 laps into it, and I know those front guys were pushing, right? Do they get tires?
I don't. It's all dependent on how many sets of tires that they get. I'm going to say they are going to go in. Whether they take tires or not, it's going to be, their decision. But as you can see, there's going to be some takers here shortly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks like only the top 3 stayed out and the rest of the field came in. Those boys, those top 3 may be sitting ducks on this restart. Oh, and they're spinning out in the pits. With these recruitment races, you get all walks of life in here. They're not used to, running league racing style, and, bumping and banging just, here at ChopShop, we try avoiding that as much as possible. And that's just so everybody has a fair chance at finishing the race, and it's good racing. It's great for broadcasting. But, when we do these recruitment races, sometimes you get guys that they think it's a series race, It's always a quick 10-lap sprint, and they think, it's going to go back to yellow.
Recruitment races are kind of it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, you're definitely going to get some chaos. There's going to be some needles in the haystack there. You're going to find some good quality racers out here. It looked like the strength of field was relatively good, so it is a good starting field for the most part. But regardless, a driver's a driver. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to try to make moves. They're definitely going to try to get themselves in position to obviously get the best finish that they can. So accidents happen. It's gonna occur. For the most part, they've all been playing nice. At least the first 6 laps that happened. That one accident looks like they just they went 3 wide. They touched and obviously caused the caution. But most of these guys They look like pretty seasoned vets. We don't have a lot of rookies in here, so they should be able to rebound. 6 laps in of a 40-lap run, you don't have to go full blast on your first 6 laps. So if everybody just takes their time, just figures out who's fast, who's not, who you want to be around with, everything should go smoothly here for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at Michael Martin. He's already up 13 spots in 8 laps. He's in the 77 Ford with the Men in Black kind of scheme on the hood. He got some Minions thing on the door. I mean, it's a pretty sweet looking ride, but it looks like he's on a mission up here. And Laquan McCoy, he's also up 10 spots. I guess everybody has to cycle through after the pit stop, so it might not be 1,000% accurate, but you could still see these movers. I mean, just moving.
Yeah, there are a couple cars up front that are needing to cycle back to the back, and the cars in the back need to cycle to the front. It's just kind of how it played out based off of the caution. There was a couple of incidences that occurred in the pit road that we didn't catch. But I'm connected with the driver audio, and a couple of guys weren't too happy about it. So hopefully whoever caused that it was accidental. I wasn't able to pick it up and figure out who it was, but we're going to be looking for as much clean possible racing as we can. It looks like they're all lined up with the caution flags off, so we should be going green here pretty shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at it now, yeah, Michael Martin's still up 13 spots. Chris Tripp, which is in front of him, he's up 12 spots. And they both have Canadian flags next to them, so I'm wondering if they're not teammates themselves. And, they're
green
trying
flag.
to make a statement out here as we go green. Looks like Barry and Burke's going drag race down here, and it looks like Alio's trying to put his nose in the game up there with that 74 machine. And look how close he's riding to the wall. I mean, he's just hugging it. He's going to get a lot of speed off that top side as he comes around the corner. But Burke is not waiting.
You get a crazy run off the top, especially on these restarts. I generally like to stick to the bottom, to be honest with you, especially on fresher tires. You want to get some heat built into the tires before you start going super hard.
Well,
but
like
these guys are doing a pretty good job so far.
Let's see. Am I missing stuff?
What happened there? It doesn't look like...
I don't see a yellow.
I can't see...
Let's look here. Past. We're still green. I don't know why the yellow. Why what set of yellow came up?
I'm listening to the race chatter. I think one of the admins was finicking with his button box and accidentally hit it, and trying to make sure that the yellows are on. From the sounds of it, it looks like the session was set up without yellows being provided by iRacing. So I think they were just trying to test it for the most part. They'll probably try to shorten these laps because I didn't see anybody wreck, and from the in-race audio, it just sounds like it was accidental.
And that happens from time to time. We're going to sit on board here a little bit with Mr. John Hammond, one of 2 owners here at ChopShop Racing. The other one is here in the booth with me, Mr. Stryker. So I always gotta give you guys, when I'm up here broadcasting, a little bit of grace, I guess, for all that you guys do here at ChopShop.
Yeah, we got a wonderful community. For the most part, it's all about having fun and racing as best as we can. But these hosted rooms that we do provide, they're not going to go without some hiccups every now and then, especially with 30 some odd guys that don't recognize each other. So we're going to have a couple hiccups here now and then, but we'll take care of it. Hey, looks like there's
not a big deal. I mean, I guess whoever threw the yellow, did they at least warn the field before they did, you know?
Yeah, give me a quick second here. I saw some activity in the back. Trying to figure out who that was. What number is that?
Ooh, that was... Let's go back there real quick. Because I just seen it myself. That would have been... Oh, I hit the wall first.
What number do you see up there? The 8 car and...
The 8 car and... Can't tell who that is. Where is the 8 car?
It was the 8 car. No, but that's John.
Looks like 89 maybe?
Now we got a little extracurricular activity out here, as you can obviously see. These guys are just trying to have fun with each other out there, but obviously that's not going to be tolerated. We're going to get them out the room here fairly quickly.
Did it look like it was on purpose? Because from my angle, it looked like one guy hit the wall and then the other guy kind of ran into him, but he wasn't. He blinked out.
I was overlooking it, and it definitely looks like they're just out there causing chaos for the most part.
Oh yeah, we can't have that.
Trying to get the exact particulars, because there was about 2 or 3 of them, so we want to make sure we get these knuckleheads out of here so we can actually have a good race. And it looks like I've uncovered a couple of them, so some of them will be going home here shortly.
You know, it's, and unfortunately for us, you do have people out here in iRacing that sees a recruitment race and they see it as, I don't know, as not necessarily a bad thing, but something somebody wants to ruin for no reason. Which we hate to have that, but we're 13 laps in out of 40 on this stint. We'll be at 14 at the green, and I'm starting to wonder if anybody has anything for Burke, because he's holding his own up there on his own, that 53 machine. We still have all 35. Nope. 31. We have all 31 drivers still in the race. And they're about to come around here and start stacking them back up.
It looks like...
Pace car's ducking off.
All right.
We're starting to get tight-knit. I hate it when they wait to stack up, and Jeremiah Burt gets a gigantic jump. I mean, he just caught them boys sleeping. About a 6-car jump on him. He's going to lead this field into 1. We're going to see if these guys don't keep it as clean as they possibly can. Kind of wind down a little bit. Maybe their nerves are getting to them. Looks like Biggert's getting freight trained. He's sandwiched in middle right there, trying to work his way out of there. You got the 74. He's also sandwiched 3 wide, trying to make it through there. Looks like he's going to get some help. That 74 is going to get a nice little bump, and he'll clear those 2 cars.
There's always going to be everybody trying to come to the front here, definitely on the restarts. That's where everybody's going to try to make their positioning. We got a couple cars running 2 wide, 3 wide. There's going to be a battle here towards the middle part of the pack. There might be, as long as everybody plays okay, everybody should be fine. It looks like everybody's giving each other room, so technically we should be okay. We'll see if that continues throughout the night.
Yeah, and we're on board here with the 74 machine as the 26 makes the pass on the outside. And I mean, they're running close. They're not giving any space. You can't even put a piece of paper in between those cars. As the 26 makes the pass, he puts the sights on Berg, coming out of 2.
And there's a good possibility on that last caution. Some of these guys took tires and some of them didn't. So if we continue to keep going green here, you're going to see those strategies start to pay out, especially for those guys that did take tires. It's going to take a couple of laps before that does occur, but If it goes green, you're going to start seeing some of these guys go right to the front.
Well, and so far, we've had a 3-car battle between the 53, the 26, and the 74, Burke, Barry, and Alio, and neither one of them, if any, want to give anything up. But we need to set our sights on that 8 machine, that freaky fast machine, John Hammond, because he's starting to come out of nowhere, and he's wanting to put his hat in the ring there.
Yeah, he's got his hands full.
They're touching.
They're banging.
They are. Let's see what it looks like from his point of view. We're on board with John Hammond and the 8 machine, and you can just see how close. You could throw a blanket over these guys, Striker. I mean, you could just throw a blanket over them. One mishap, and the whole field's going down the toilet.
They actually did a great job. I mean, they were they were kissing each other the entire front straightaway, so they were able to make it to the turn without causing any major damage to either car. It looks like the 78 car down on the bottom is struggling a little bit. A lot of these cars are trying to get around him on the high side, but he's done a good job in holding it. It seems like that high side seems to be coming in a little bit. Everybody's starting to gravitate towards that middle high side. They're getting a lot of speed up there.
Yeah, and as we look behind Hemingway on the rear chase camera, you can see Hammond and Biggert rolling. It looks, and those are 2 ChopShop guys. They're obviously, they're racing each other with respect, but also being aggressive. And their goals just go to the front. And as Jan comes over, he's working his way up there too, running a slightly lower line than Hemingway is, and he might regret that decision later on. It might lose those tires.
Looks like Jeremiah Burke's got his hands full with Aurelio?
I've been butchering his name all night.
In the 26 car. He's actually doing a heck of a job trying to keep that 26 car behind him. At 74 car, I'm sorry, that's Barry in the 26 car. Aurelio's in the 74 car. Both those guys have been running real hard.
Barry just scraped the wall trying to get up to him, and that's going to allow Alio up. We'll call him Mike.
Use his card number for the most part.
Right. Burke's holding it still, nice and solid.
You can see Burke's running the middle.
Yellow is out. Let's go back and
yellow's
take
out.
a gander at this. Laquan McCoy. Let's go back. It looks like he blinked out. I'm guessing he lost connection, blinked out, hit, wrecked, came back. Yellow flag's out for the 3rd time tonight as these guys make their way back up through the field. And we're going to kind of diagnose what the game plan is. Let's get Hammond up here and see what he thinks.
Bingo, bitches!
Mr. John Hammond, Ryan in the booth, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, we're sitting there watching you and looks like you and Biggert there just kind of working your way up through the field. And obviously, you guys are so close. You could throw a blanket over you. What's the plan now, that you kind of got out of 90% of the traffic and you only got a few cars in front of you to make it up there and overtake Burke?
Well, right now I'm going in to get some tires right now, get new skins on here because we burned them up quick. Was in a little bit of a, hold on a second, was in a little bit of a jam there with one guy. He was on the inside of me, and I think we were banging doors the whole way down the front stretch.
We watched that. That was great.
Yeah, so, but I wasn't giving up the position, and we were sticking it out there. I had the 18 was pushing me, and Biggert burned up his stuff, he told me on the radio there. And hold on a second. He burned them up, so he's definitely coming in. Everyone coming in. It's just you gotta. Oh shit! You're
You're all
gonna
right.
have to.
Four
Yeah,
wide.
you're gonna have to. I'm sorry, man. I know I'm ahead of you. I'm in a buzzsaw coming out of the pits. Come on, dude. Anyways, it's close pack. The cars are fast. The high line is the run, but they eat the tires. I'm just gonna keep the hammer down and get after it.
All
Burke
right.
is running a hell of a race up there.
He is, and he's having to play a lot of defense as all you guys are starting to work your way up through the field. We just want to get your insight on it because there was a lot of banging, and nobody's giving anybody anything. Which
Now,
would start
Rubbin's
your
racing,
show.
baby. It's fun.
All right, we'll put you back down. Good luck.
Yep.
All right, we also want to give a huge shout out to one of our big OGs at the Chop Shop. Brian Rayburn's up in the chat giving us kudos. We love you, Brian. How's it going, buddy?
Gotta love old Rayburn.
He's drinking himself a pop, he said.
Pop. That's a Midwest thing. I don't want to hear anything about it because I call pop. So you Westerners, and where is Rayburn out of?
I believe Mr. Rayburn is in Tennessee, some part of Tennessee.
I mean, that could be argued as Midwest too. I'm curious to see what Jan's going to do because during practice he was one of the guys that had one of the faster laps, and I want to see if he can't capitalize that speed now that everybody has fresh tires. He's starting on the outside of Burke, just to see what his move's going to be.
Honestly, I think Burke is making the wrong decision on starting on the bottom. That 11 car and the 74 car, Jan and Aurelio, are just going to get a huge run and probably go to the high side. So I'm actually quite excited to see if that 53 is going to be able to hold off these hard chargers here on the bottom side, especially on these fresh tires. Let's see how that pans out here in a second.
I'm looking forward to it. As they come down the backstretch, we're going to go into 3 and 4. We're going to stack them back up, and we're going to let them eat. We'll be hitting the green flag with 16 to go. So I'm assuming in 16 laps, you could probably have your tires hold out to where you could just run balls to the wall.
You know what? That's right at that cusp where you probably want to save just a hair, just enough to have that extra oomph there at the end of the race. But yeah, you're right. You're 100% correct. That's right at that cusp where you could probably just go full throttle for the most part, and they should be able to hold, assuming you're out in front, because that clean air is going to be extremely, extremely important.
It will be interesting. Burke, man, is just on it with these restarts, but he did not fool the 74 machine this time, as he did not take off probably as big of a gap as he was hoping for originally.
So Burke's got a nice 2-3 car cushion there, and he's actually going to get some help because the guys behind him are fighting for position. It's 4 wide.
Oh, they're spinning. Oh, are they saved it? Nope, they're up against the wall. Wow.
Get yourself something to drink. Get a deep breath.
Man, I think, I said, these guys with 16 laps are going to let them eat and go heavy on it. And I wasn't wrong. But I did not expect these guys to do that.
Yeah, so we're probably we jumped the gun a little bit there because we're actually seeing it real time, and for our fans, you guys are getting a slight delay, so we apologize for that. We're about 2 or 3 seconds delayed, so we're going to do a little bit better job to make sure that we don't jump the gun there like we just did. But what happened there is the second, third, fourth place, and fifth place car all got collected. Like I said, Jeremiah Burke got out in front, and all these guys were battling. Those restarts are extremely important. They know it is, especially with these shorter distances, and they all went for it. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it happen.
Let's go back on board with the 74, because it's looking like
it was 4 wide for a second.
Yeah, the 26 just got in the corner ever so slightly. Yeah, so you see here we got the 18, the 26, the 74, and the 11, and Mr. Hammond's right behind him, and they're just about to go 4 wide. And I blinked.
It looks like it's just some tough some hard racing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, John took a hit on that as he, and it was just a broadside hit. The 39 took a hit. I mean, it's hard to avoid these guys, but unfortunately, the Striker. The weird thing is when this happens and you got all that space down beneath the race surface to work with, my initial thought would be turn left, get away from all the chaos as fast as possible.
Everybody that was around that, they got tunnel vision. So John, the second, third, fourth, and fifth place car, they're all battling for position, so they're not looking anywhere but ahead. Now, if we're talking about the sixth, seventh, eighth place guys, as you can see, they were the only ones that were able to avoid that accident because they could actually anticipate what was going on. So good job for them showing that race prowess that they're able to get out the way. But as far as those guys up front, I mean, it's so difficult to be able to make that call. It's almost instinctual. You just have to know when it's getting too dicey, and it became dicey within a split second. So none of these guys had an opportunity to get out the way. But luckily, I believe they do have a fast repair, which is probably going to allow them to go down and get some tires while they get a brand new car repaired, and then obviously shoot for these last, I believe, 10 or 12 laps.
Is that what we think is going to happen? These guys are going to go back and get
They're not going to go green. If I had to bet money on it, we're not going to go green. If I had to bet any money on it, I'd probably say there's going to be at least 2 more cautions.
And that's dicey because now Burke has to deal with one of the best guys we have in our league, just a row behind him. I mean, you're putting a lot of weight on his shoulders. The 19 machine of Bigger he's good and he doesn't make a ton of mistakes. If he can keep it clean, Burke is going to have trouble with that 19 and that 11 car. I think Hemingway, I can't count anybody out, but he hasn't shown that he can get close enough to Burke yet.
We haven't had, honestly, a long green flag run where you could distinctively say one car's better than the other. I think of what we've seen, Jeremiah Burke's probably had the best car so far because he's been out front, and there's no replacement for clean air other than displacement, as they like to say. But clean air is always going to be the most important aspect of these types of races, especially in this Cup car where you're aero dependent a lot of the times, especially with these big tracks. You got a lot of draft, and aero is going to be a big issue. But I mean, if I had to take a quick guess, we got some big hitters up there like Nate Biggert. Jan's been super quick. Hemingway's obviously been great. But if I had to bet anything right now, I'd probably go with Burke, just because I expect him to be at least another 2 more cautions before we get out to the finish of the race, and he's getting such a great restart, as you can see.
Oh, yeah.
He's about to go here.
And Nate definitely got caught sleeping on that restart, and it may not have been Nate's fault. It could have been, it could have been that 11 machine just wasn't there. I love hearing these cars go around the track. You can just see Burke. Nothing but track in front of him. He can pick his line. I'm sure he's, driving out of his rear view. I hope he isn't, but, when you're up front, you just can't help yourself. You're constantly looking behind you. You're trying to see where the run's coming from.
Yeah, why don't we give fans a little in-car view from Nathan Biggert's cockpit. So he's in 4th place trying to get up front. Let's see what it looks like while he's trying to make some moves.
He's, he's trying to reel.
Oh, he's in 2nd now, so he's definitely coming up real quick.
He's trying to reel him in. So we're about to have the race that we thought we were going to have, obviously, between these 2 guys. And, I mean, just because there's 11 to go, you still can't count out Hammond. He's super aggressive. Oh, Nate getting a little loose there, coming off of 4. He's going to lose a little time out of there.
He's going to get a huge run down the back straightaway here. He's going to suck right up to Burke. As you can see, he's already gaining a couple of tenths right there on that back straightaway. He's going to drop down to the bottom He's going to get off the gas. He's going to let Burke carry him around. Let Burke use his draft to carry him around. He got a little squirrely there, which is going to lose some time. But that's the way you got to take this Michigan. You got to go in hard, let the car carry, let it sit, then drive off. Don't light switch the throttle. If you got the tires, that's going to work for you. Burke looks really good right now, very stable up front. He's running the bottom. He's running the middle. He's going to be tough to beat.
Let's see here. I mean, lap 26, 27th, Biggert was faster, 28th he was, but on lap 29th and 30th, Burke was faster. Making up a little bit of that time on lap 31, it looks like Biggert came back and was shooting away some of that time. We have
Look at the gaggle of cars right there. Oh, there's an accident. There's a gaggle of cars there in the middle portion of the pack. Somebody just got loose back there. Caution's out. Caution is out.
Let's see what was going on. We'll rewind this bad boy a little bit. Looks like the 89 machine. Ooh. Let's get... Here we go. We're going to play it at quarter speed here so we can kind of see what happened. 21 coming up against 24 Retchen. Yeah, they touched. The 21 just barely touched Retchen and lost it. Come up, hit the 89, put him in the wall. And again, John Hammond is right there. He is just not having a lucky night at all. Him and the 66 ended up touching there. Poor Hammond. You know Hammond's down there just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, that right there is just sheer racing. It's almost like as soon as he got up to the 24 car, he broke loose, and then he tried to overcorrect to save it, and then that just ended up getting forcing everybody to duck and dodge around him. But I mean, that's a racing deal right there. They're just racing hard.
Is that duck, dodge, dive? What was that off of Dodgeball?
That's off Dodgeball, yeah.
Just looking, you know, I love, and this is one of my favorite views, this rear chase view, because you're behind the leader, you're looking, and it just looks like, as you would normally say, a pack of hyenas just wanting to take a bite out of his rear, you know. And this is far from over. Far from over.
What do we got left? About 8 laps left. It should be coming to the green here, crossing the line. So they're gonna have about 6 laps to the finish. I stated 2 cautions. I think I'm going to be wrong. They're probably going to get 3, maybe even 4 here at the end. Once these laps start to, go single digits, intensity does get much higher. I believe these guys have an unlimited set of tires, so if somebody jumped into the pits, grabbed the tires, they're not going to wait. So patience is going to be very short. Aggression's going to be very high, so we're going to see some high impact racing here in just a second, probably multiple grooves. Burke's again in that driver's seat. That's where he wants to be. He wants to get the good restart, hug the bottom, get the run, block any runs, and be there at the finish. So we'll see how it pans out.
It's and Nate doesn't have to worry about anybody in front of him this time. So he'll be in full control of, when he starts. Unfortunately, when you're behind somebody on these restarts and you get to jump and the guy in front of you doesn't, you have to stay in line until you cross that start-finish line, or you'll get black flagged. And obviously a black flag is way more detrimental than just eating the run and losing, a few spots.
Any mistake here with 6 laps to go, 7 laps to go, there'll be 6 at the start finish line. It's obviously going to cost you positions. So you want to be up front. The 53 car, the 19, the 014, the 29, the 11, the 16, all these cars, they're all in that driver's seat. They can see the leader. They can dictate where they go. They can go high, they can go low, they can get the run, they can block the car behind them. So these are the guys that are probably in the best position, but you don't want to forget about the guys in the back or mid-pack. The 26's been fast. The 8's been fast. The 13 car's been fast. All of these guys, they probably got a fresh set of tires. And they're going to go out there and give it all they got. I mean, there's no reason for them not to. So it's going to get exciting. Let's see what unfolds.
Yeah, I was watching here on this pace lap that Eaton in the 14 car. I think he was right up on Burke, just letting him know, hey, buddy, I'm here. What you gonna do about it? So, Burke has his hands full. This is, in my eyes, at a track like this versus even Talladega, it's almost worse. I would much rather be in the lead in a plate race because I know what to expect. These I don't. As you can see, the 29 already banging up against the 19, just ready to go and pounce. Green flag.
Green.
And Burke gets another vicious jump. Like, no one is going to touch him tonight on restarts.
I mean, like I said, it could be a detriment because draft does play an important pivotal role here. And if one of these guys can get a good run off of that restart and suck right up to Burke, Burke might be a sitting duck.
I mean, just they're all over. Here we go. Riding on board with Burke right now, and he's just trying everything he can to stay in front of everybody. And Nathan Biggert down below, trying to give him a run for his money. They're side by side coming into 1 and 2. Burke's going to have the run on the high side. They're 3 wide behind them. They're going to keep it straight. A little bump, never hurt anybody. Oh, he turned him.
Caution somewhere.
The 19 gets into the 53. Oh, no.
I didn't see exactly what happened. Was it just tough, hard racing?
It looked like it. What a tough break for Burke.
So he's down on the bottom. Here comes Burke with the run.
Let's go back here. Let's go.
19's trying to side draft.
Yeah.
Burke comes down just a little bit. Yeah, as 19 was side drafting. So that, it could go either way there. 19's trying to get the side draft. Burke maybe thought he was clear and wanted to either force him to get off his fender or thought he was clear. And from at least this aerial image, it looks like Burke just slightly stood down while the 19 was hugging his fender.
Let's see. Do we have a right? Oh, we do have a right front suspension. Let's look at how close this was. Oh, man, they just barely touched. I mean, that's so unfortunate. I mean, Burke was having such a good race. He was definitely the guy to beat.
53 and 19 were chattering on the racetrack, and the 53 did make mention that he felt like he was blocking a little bit where the 19, which is Nate Biggert, was just being a little bit aggressive on the side draft. Like I said, it's just a racing incident. They're just trying to make sure that they get the advantage that they can.
I mean, you could just see on this replay how close they are. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It really is. So that's going to make Nathan Biggert your leader.
Hey, as you can right there in your replay, you can see Biggert come down just half a lane, and that's all it takes because Nate was already right up on that fender, and that's all it takes. We were talking about those mistakes just a little while ago. One little mistake just like that ends your race.
That's unfortunate. But the good news is this is a recruitment race, right? We do these in the league, not only just to recruit people. I mean, that's kind of the purpose. But this is fun, too. Like, everybody's having a good time. It's laid back. There's nothing, detrimental going to happen. Look at Jerry Culver right here sitting in 10th place. He's 7 positions up. And he's the thing I love most about Jerry is he's a silent killer, He's not even a thought in the race until the end, and then he's sitting up in third or fifth or whatever, and you're like, where did Jerry come from? Pan back around. So we have the 19 Bigger, 5 of Pena, 14 of Eaton, 74 Alio, and 11 Yawn, and 26 of Barry. And if you remember right, the 11 and the 26 of Yawn and Barry, those two guys were up there fighting with Burke to get in the lead, and now they're sitting in 5th and 6th place. So we better keep an eye on those guys, because obviously it's a no holds bar now. 3 laps to go. It's going to be a shootout to the finish.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. Give me a second.
Bunch of pack of hyenas back here. I hope Nate has big boy pants on, because he's going to need every bit of track to keep that thing straight and to keep it in the way of all these guys. Again, this is always a good time. Mention, if you are in our YouTube channel watching the race, go down to the description below. You can join us in our Discord, where we are always talking to each other, shooting the breeze and having a good time. Join us on Facebook. Feel free to ask any questions. No question is a stupid question. There's an answer for everything. Everybody was new at this at one point and had no idea what they're doing. So if you are that kind of guy that has no clue what's going on, feel free to reach out and ask. If you're somebody that knows exactly what's going on, again, feel free to come in and sign up. Our next gen series is going to be starting up this coming Friday. So be there or be square. As the 20 or the 19 and 5 of Pena both get off. I guess it's the 29 in iRacing, but Biggert didn't get a jump on him. He's going to hang it out.
It's going to be a good race. 3 to go. Let's see if they can keep it clean.
Does a dive bomb right out of the corner. 29 of Pena just trying to get up there and past him. And it looks like he's going to get a nose on him.
Two to green. It's going to get aggressive. It's going to get aggressive.
And the 29 is going to clear Biggert. We're on board with Biggert right now. Biggert jumps down on the apron to kind of get in that draft. They're lined up directly behind him, so I mean they're utilizing this draft to get everything they can out of these race cars.
Coming to the white flag here. Can Nate make the move? It's going to be difficult. That 29's been really fast the whole race.
And
what lane is he going to choose?
Barry just comes out of nowhere, puts his hat back in the ring, and is fighting for the lead, coming on the inside of the 29. And behind him, Eaton's going to do the exact same thing Barry just did, and they're wrecking. Barry ended up getting into the wall there. Does not matter. The race is over. What a showing. Let's go back to that finish.
Congratulations to the top 3 guys, Barry, Eaton, and Biggert. Barry just came out of nowhere. A huge charge out of nowhere, especially Eaton as well.
Oh, yeah. And Eaton did the same thing Barry did. Dove bomb Biggert to try to get in there. And they just had that momentum coming off the corner. Maybe they saved a little more tire than Biggert did at that point. But, I mean, this is a drag race to the front anyways, and it looked like Barry went up to block Biggert for the run. But what a finish.
No holes barred there at the end. Obviously, you're going to do your best within reason to make sure that you get that W. It was all fine and dandy there at the end. Everybody was just shooting and dashing and moving around everywhere they could. Super close finish. Look at Eaton. He almost came around and got that at the end.
I mean, that's... I thought for sure he was going to get around Barry up there, but he didn't. And that's racing. You never know what to expect. And as we were coming around to that green, like I said, you gotta watch out for that Barry and Eaton, because I knew they were going to try and make a run for it. I'm assuming that they just had a little more tire than Biggert did coming around that corner.
Yeah, these Michigan races, honestly, they serve almost like a plate race. If you get the draft and you can get the run, you can make the pass. And it was evident there, whether you have the tires or not. The tires are, depending on where you made the pass. If you're going to make the pass coming out of the corner, the tires are going to be the most important. But if you get the pass coming in, if you get underneath the guy, older tires will still hold. So for the most part, everybody did a great job today, other than that one situation earlier in the race. So it was an awesome race. We're going to be having more of these throughout the night. I believe we're going to just be popping them out all throughout the night. So if that's correct, Ryan, you let me know.
Yeah, man, I don't see a problem with that. I have no life tonight except for iRacing, so that's going to be great. Let's bring up the race results for tonight. We have Mr. Barry 1, Eaton 2, Biggert 3rd, Alio 4th, Jan 5th, Jeff Charles 6th, Michael Martin 7th, Mark Retchen 8th. See, Mark Retchen, man, he moved up quite a bit. He ended up getting 16 spots. Jeff Charles, that actually finished 6th, looks like he's the biggest mover of the race, gaining 25 spots. Burke ends up 9th, Andrew Player 10th, Cody Hemingway 11th, Mike Adamson 12th, John Hammond 13th, Dave Stinson 14th, Eric Mincer 15th, Jerry Culver 16th, Earl Evans 17th, Sean Pena 18th. We have, let's see, I got to kind of scroll through here. Tyler Payne 19th, Brian Beach 20th, Craig Goodenough 21st, Albert Anderson 22nd, Casey 23rd, Tripp 24th, McCoy 25th, LaFrance 26th, McCoy again 27th, Deuce 28th, Spencer Walt 29th, Steinholster 30th. Stryker was not racing because it showed you 42 laps down. James 32nd, Lane 33rd, Pierre 34th, Colton 35th, and Wiggins 36th, rounding out the end of the field. What a good night for a Michigan race. I got nothing but gratitude to everybody that showed up, all of our sponsors as always, and you know that's a wrap for Michigan. I wonder. We're not going to do another Michigan, are we?
No, I believe the boys made an executive decision while racing that the next track, at least from what I heard in the race chatter, was Chicagoland. So we're going to go back in the next gen Cup cars, Chicagoland. So be on the lookout for this hosted race. Again, it's going to be labeled ChopShop Recruiting Nation. Feel free to come on back, check out the Discord, check out the website at chopshopracing.net. All the information that you need is relevant there. Our main hub is going to be the Discord. You can find us at discord.gg/ChopShopRacing. But if you guys want to come back, feel on coming back. Don't forget to subscribe and like. We're looking for as many subscribers and likes as we can. Engagement is key. We're trying to build this Chop Shop channel, so we would appreciate everybody interact and subscribe and like what we do, because it's not as easy as it seems. And we just want to make sure everybody out here has a good content and has fun with us all night.
Absolutely. So we are in the middle of signing off. We will see you all in, what, you think, 30 minutes, hour, somewhere in there, Stryker?
Yeah, 30 minutes or so.
30 minutes to an hour. Come back on. Join us for the next race. As for that, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And if you do, take pictures.